Why they close the curtains?
Yeah, let's do that one. 62. Bhaja bhakata vatsala Sri Gaurāṅga. 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 Asi Gaurāṅga Sari Vasabi. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, or Vaishnava Thakur.
Because we have the Kartik songs.
I think last day was yesterday.
Was it? Was it? Yeah.
So.
We finished.
Last night, yeah, it was the last.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to wait until next year.
Oh no. Yeah.
Some we can sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one did you want to? Did you want to sing next, Did you want to sing a particular song?
Yeah. Psalm 28. Gaurāṅga duti pada jana sampada.
Gaurāṅga duti pada sampada.
Se jana bhakti rasa.
Se jane bhakti rasa. Gaurāṅga madhulila jahakane pavasila.
page 177. Sarvasya tumar charani sapiya sarvasya tumar charani oditi
Hare Algo me quiero aprender ese toque, el que hice hace rato.
¿Cuál es?
No sé, pero está muy bueno.
No me lo sé. Es improvisado.
Oh, I know why.
What's happening?
That mic is too close to that speaker.
Oh, you take it.
Yeah, that mic's a bit close, so it's like...
I don't need it. So Johnny, you take it. This one.
Have you got a song suggestion? You want to sing another song? Or?
Well, I sang already. Maybe others want to sing.
¿Hay uno que quieres cantar?
No sé
What
cuál.
about 155? You want to sing that one? Bhaja Hurra?
150 what?
155?
Okay. Vaya Hore Mana Srinandanandana Vaya Charanara Vindari
Vaya Hore Mana Srinandanandana Vaya Charanara
Tulava Mana Vajana Vasaksate
Adulava Govinda
Varana Kalipavana Kora.
Pita Varana Kalipavana Kora.
Pita Varana Kalipavana Kora.
Pita Varana Kalipavana
See Sachi? Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya
Jaya Gopinath Jaya Gaurāṅga Gopinath Jaya Gaurāṅga Jaya Gopinath Jaya Gaurāṅga Hare Bol Amita Gaur Hare Bol Hare
Now this one. It's not for today, obviously.
I don't know well.
No, it's not. It's nothing like that. It's just because this is for Saraswati Thakur.
That's for
You know this one, like Bhaya Vanjana Jaya Sam Sam. You know, Gurudev sings that one. Guru Maharaj is there in the background. You can hear him repeating it. I think this is for Bhakti Saraswati Thakur. Is that Appearance Day? This is the song for his Appearance Day. Specifically. Because it talks about his appearance. But we never sing it.
oh, let's do 146.
What?
146.
146.
Before the class. 146. Narada Muni Bajai Vina Radhikaramana Name Narada Muni Bajai Vina Radhikaramana Namaya Mani Udita Hoya Bhakata Gita Same Namaya Mani Udita
Giridhārījīu. What is mostly forbidden is to make a seat for yourself. I'm gonna make a seat for myself. Oh, what a sinful person I am.
Well, you can... A seat?
Yeah, just that.
No. Don't be serious, Becky.
Maybe we should move on this one.
Yeah.
Can we unplug all the mics? Peter? Unplug the mics?
Ya las apagué.
No, we'll unplug them so we can make a seat for Sachi Devī.
No nos quites porque nos vamos a separar. Sorry, they called me now.
Shall we begin? Yeah? Okay. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnanangena Salakaya Sakshur Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavavinyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurāṅga Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Warm welcome to everyone. We're always happy to come together Saturdays to share something, Krishna consciousness. Maybe we can close the door. And share with this consciousness, with sincere souls, about the greatest treasure that has come to earth. The greatest treasure has come to earth. That is, Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda came to alleviate our suffering, but not only that, but to give us happiness in the highest form. That means love of God. Jai Gurudev. So we are singing Nitai Gaurāṅga. They gave us the highest gift on the planet. That is, that is a great treasure. And I transcribed something of Madhusudana Maharaj, what he gave in a talk in Mauritius yesterday, and I will read something from that. Nitai and Gaura, they have come with such a gift, and the most learned scholars, they can understand that never before in a day of Lord Brahma, which is a long, long time, has such a gift been given before. And that is the gift of Krishna Prema, of love of Godhead in its highest degree. And it is not just a story from distant past, it is the present that this distribution of the holy name is taking place everywhere. We are here on this island called the UK, but all over the world, from all kinds of corners in the world that you would never expect, people are chanting Hare Krishna, worshipping Rādhā and Krishna, worshipping Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, all over the world. Now, like a tsunami. That tsunami took place in India 500 years ago with Nitai and Chaitanya. Nitai and Gaurāṅga distributing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And in India rocketed at that time a big movement, a big change in the consciousness in India took place. 500 years ago, that's not so long, right? That's not so long. Krishna consciousness 500 years ago with Nityananda and Gaurāṅga's distribution. And now that is like a wave. And behind that wave came a dip. And then there is another wave. And this wave is coming out with the arrival of the great saint who is given the title Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You know who that is, Ross? In Srila Bhakti. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur?
One of those guru.
Is the first guru.
It's the first one.
So after Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, he is the second wave to spread Krishna consciousness first to all the corners in India and from there to all the corners in the world.
So before him there was nothing in India,
Yeah.
there was no...
Sri Chaitanya and Mahaprabhu, and Nityananda, but there was some, and his and their associates, but there was a little time that there was a dip. That is normal, but it is an eternal substance that's coming from the spiritual world to this world that will always come up again. So the agents of the Lord always will come again and again. You understand? Yeah. So that is Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhagavan is a word for the Lord actually. Bhagavan means he who has all the opulences in full. He is the most beautiful. He is the most knowledgeable. He is the most powerful. He is the most famous. He is the most rich. He is the most renunciate. So all the powers in the world are fully in Krishna. Bhagavan, this is the name Bhagavan, given to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because a devotee is a representative of the Lord, and in that we see that in Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. It is one and the same but different. Because a devotee is always like empowered by the Lord to give this treasure out, this highest treasure in the world. The name Bhagavan is used for a great personality. So, in recent times, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he brought the second wave of teachings and distributions of Gaurāṅga and Nityananda, and this broke out from the shores and confines of India and has circulated the whole world. And now we are fortunate to be able to have the same contact with this wave. Through the teachings, through the books, and through the devotees who have come with this living succession from the Guru to the students, and the students becoming teachers and continuing in this way. So we are all have connection with this beautiful temple of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math in form and substance, where the worship and glorification and all types of services are going on, all day, every day, for the satisfaction of Sri Sri Guru Gaurāṅga Sundar Rādhā Giridhārījīu. Krishna consciousness is happy. Love of God, prema, is happy. When you are happy, what do? When you win the lottery, for example, what will you do when you win £10 million?
Give it to the temple.
Well, but before that, when you say, okay, you won £10 million, the first impulse, what will you do?
Buy a house.
What do you say?
Buy a house.
No, that's after. Pandita? Radharani?
Give it to the temple.
That is later.
Right away.
First you jump. You jump. And you jump up and down, and dance. You cannot restrain yourself. Wow, wow. And we can sing and dance out of love for God by chanting His name, finding ultimately all the answers in this lifetime. We were searching for lifetime after lifetime, searching for truth, real knowledge and real happiness. The temple is not only a building, but it is here so that we can hear the message and ideal of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And that ideal was carried on with the same current to Srila Bhakti Rakak Siddhadev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, after Srila Sridhar Maharaj, the current was given to Srila Govinda Maharaj, who gave instructions to his associates to distribute Krishna consciousness to all of us. It is Krishna consciousness, that he distribute Krishna consciousness to all of us. This is from another, what I wrote down. This is not from the talk of Srila Madhusudana Maharaj, just the beginning bit. It is Krishna consciousness that can enliven the world. The name for these great personalities, the spiritual masters of Krishna consciousness, are called Paradukha Dukhi. It means a person who does not see his own troubles, but he is unhappy to see the troubles of others. Because a Vaishnava fully takes shelter of the Supreme Lord, he personally is not so concerned with his own problems, but because he is compassionate toward the fallen conditioned souls, he is always thinking of plans to save them from hellish life in this body and the next. Parikshit Maharaj wanted to know from Sukadev Goswami how humanity can be saved from gliding down to hell. Unfortunately, however, the entire world is lacking Krishna consciousness, and therefore people are suffering from the grossest ignorance and do not even believe in life after this one. The duty of the devotees is to inform humanity about the Lord as our guardian, controller, and best friend. We have seen what kind of leaders there are in the world, like Hitler, Stalin, Bin Laden, and many of the leaders. What they do, they create hate in the environment, isn't it? As we compare that to, what is going on in this world, the leader, it's a lot of hate, a lot of opposition towards the others. And the Vaishnavas came to bring humility, like to seeing the existence of the Lord in everything, and adjust to that with humility and tolerance and giving honor to others. And no doubt, not being so involved in the affairs of of actually totally not being involved in the affairs of power over somebody else or over another country. In Krishna consciousness, Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, they brought love and compassion to millions of people's life. We all remember where we were, isn't it, before we came in contact with Krishna consciousness. Ross, you remember where you were before
I was in Slough, I think. About it.
But
Before that was Southampton.
Before that was you were?
Southampton, yeah, that's where we had a family.
No, but I mean consciousness.
Consciousness.
Yeah, in conscious wise, what Krishna consciousness did in our life, how it gave solutions for things we couldn't understand, or brought new light in understanding in an unconscious world, and we were also unconscious about many things.
True.
Yeah. So the great masters came with love and affection in their heart and compassion to give us this greatest treasure found in the world. Look at the great masters, Srila Bhaktivinoda, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. They wanted to train the devotees to be leaders of the society, the greatest need of our planet today. And what is their nature? That is para dukkha dukhi. Go beyond your selfish interest. Become a servitor of the Lord. He wants us to help each other with the Lord in the center of all our activities. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. Welcome, welcome. No doubt we suffer from the reactions of our own wrongdoings, our karma, but the devotee comes with relief and direction to change our unconscious life in a conscious life, to gradually become aware that Krishna is everywhere and by his will everything is happening. In the association of the sadhus, we will cross over the illusion of this world, this Maya, and the suffering of samsara, the wheel of repeated birth and death, will come to an end, and by Krishna's mercy, unwavering faith develops. This most precious gift of Nitai and Gaurāṅga to re-establish our relationship with the Lord, and if it's already there, to make it stronger and stronger, and find our purpose of life. And what is our purpose of life?
Developing love of God.
Love of God. To find love of God. To develop, cultivate in our heart love of God. Because, I will read a little bit further on. It will be explained. The pure-hearted spiritual masters, the sadhus, had that potency, that capacity to reach straight into our hearts, a capacity that is not of this world. They are empowered by Lord Nityananda on the heart level. So, living lifetime after lifetime in this material world, our heart has become a little hard, because we have eaten certain things, non-vegetarian. If we eat, for example, non-vegetarian food, then there is some choice of not being compassionate towards other living entities. So that has, everything what we do has an effect in our system. consciousness or in our bodily system. That everything what we do, everything what we think, it has an after effect. So be very careful. That is the treasure that Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda came with, to become conscious from an unconscious living, like in a material sense, like what is in it for me, following our materialistic tendencies, like making that change to become soft-hearted, to live for the environment, to make bring some goodness in the environment. The pure-hearted spiritual masters, the sadhus, had that potency, that capacity to reach straight into our hearts, a capacity that is not of this world. They are empowered by Lord Nityananda on the heart level. It's not to say that people don't feel in their hearts for others, but it's in this world, it is mainly on the selfish level. Like, if I do that for you, then I will benefit myself in the future. So what we are talking here is like to surrender to yourself to the Lord, not thinking so much of yourself, but thinking about others. Even though we have our problems, but a devotee, an aspiring devotee, doesn't think so much of the problems of him or herself, but want to do good to others. And then you forget your own problems. That is the secret. That is the touchstone, actually. The prayer to Lord Krishna that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada had. We all know who's Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada? Yes. When he arrived via the Jaladuta, a cargo boat that he embarked on in India in 1966 to travel to America, was in this land of passion and ignorance. So Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada came from India with some holy books, some few rupees, and then he came on the cargo boat to America and to say, okay, my Lord, that is what the devotee do. He wants that the Lord is guiding him. And what means the Lord is guiding him? That his mind, his intellect is not full of desires and plans, but that he sees, I go in life, whatever happens, that is by the will of the Lord, and I adjust there, I harmonize there, and I give there. And that is what Swami Maharaj said. So, of course, that is a paradukha dukhi, a totally self-surrendered, selfless soul. But he had so much faith, and he knew that it was so necessary to bring Krishna consciousness by the instruction of his spiritual master all over the world, that he believed that. And he believed in the guidance and the protection of the Lord and his master. And then his prayer was, in this land of passion and ignorance. So we arrived there in 1966. That was, everybody was much involved, the young generation at least, in sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That was their living ideal. So Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada saw that, and he said, he prayed to Krishna, in this land of passion and ignorance where we are living in now, that is our place also, how would I be able to bring the people of this world this transcendental message? That was the prayer of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj to the Lord. And he saw the dilemma where our mind and intellect wrestle with when we hear about transcendental message, the faith in the Lord, all these things. The dilemma where our mind and intellect wrestle with is that this message and teachings of the Vedas, the ancient scriptures, is beyond all these worldly explanations. So we have not heard that before. Like people in this world, if they cannot even believe they have after this life comes another life. Or, they know something. They say, do you believe in God? They say, I know there is something, but nobody knows who that is. Yes, we know. We learn from our spiritual masters. But it is not something that your mind and intellect can come to. It is via the heart. And via the heart, there is affection and love and humility and tolerance. And then in connected with the Lord and the spiritual master, then you have a transcendental concept. Then you have a touchstone. Then you have the reality of life, because it is much more. Everything is much more outstanding and amazing, beautiful, wonderful as that we think in the rut of life and going. It is already very wonderful that we can think, that we can walk, that we can speak. These are all qualities that is coming from the soul, from the Lord. And we think very, very casual about it, actually. Like, some atoms and together, and no, it's not. It's the soul, it's the connection with the super soul, with all, that all happens and all is living. Our mind and intellect are influenced by illusion, means selfish interest and material consciousness. These teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot be grasped by the soul's illusionary intellect. We started this today with the highest treasure. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
The highest treasure that has come here by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda has never been given before in one day of Lord Brahma, a very long time. And this has been given to us. We are sitting here because of that. The highest treasure that has been given to humankind to eradicate all our sufferings, and not only eradicate suffering, but we get the highest happiness in the highest degree, and that is love of Godhead. And then we don't need anything of this world. So we have the capacity to be happy without claiming that somebody else has to make me happy. Or, things have to make me happy, or situations has to make me happy. We have that happiness inside ourselves, but we have to make a transition. We have to make a transition of being a selfish person to a selfless person, and pray to God, and pray to the sadhus who can help us to make us more conscious of the gift that has been given to us. Because we believe in Krishna consciousness and we think very good, but we have so many other things we are busy with, so many other things we like. But then to understand all these things we like, at a certain point they have no taste. They become tasteless in comparison to an ever increasing and ever more loving relationship with the Lord. Nothing can top that. Transcendental, that was the word we came in contact with and changed our lives. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra gave us the connection with the great message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By the blessings from the Lord and the sincerity of the aspiring devotee, we will have our connection that will be felt in the heart, and when our faith grows, we will transcend all our material life's obstacles, and we will transcend this world. Guru is one and appears in many forms for our successful procession in gradual full dedication. So we dedicate ourselves to the Lord gradually. Like also thinking like, how can I give more of myself to the Lord? How can I refine certain things inside myself? Krishna consciousness is dynamic and fresh at every step. Really, there is nothing else that is more important than have self-examination in our thinking, willing and feeling. So, every step, every moment, we can connect with the Lord and think in our thinking, willing and feeling to be not self-focused, to think of where can I serve, where in my environment can I make it a better environment, where can I clean or cook, or where can I do things that I actually don't want to do and do them. That is progress, that is process, that is procession. And not only that, we do it for God. Because He's looking, He's seeing everything, He's seeing all of us. We need Him, we need His connection. That's the only thing that we really need. And with that connection, we will become happy in the highest degree possible. Everybody's looking for happiness. Everybody doesn't want to suffer. So we all have that feeling. If we do things good, we feel it in the heart. If we get ourselves out of the way and we do for others, we feel it in the heart. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the process. Easy. Just get ourselves out. Because we always think something like what is not good in the environment, or somebody else is not completely so what we expected. Yeah, that's the world. Welcome to the world. And now we do something to make it better, to give some help. We are a servant of the Lord and develop and cultivate love for Krishna in this life. So it's always very good that we come together. We need each other in the association because we practice Krishna consciousness. We practice spiritual life in a world that is not practicing Krishna consciousness. That is practicing selfish consciousness, illusion, egoistic consciousness. In that world we're living. And it bites, we get bitten. But, we have another life to live. When we are in that world, consciously we are with Krishna. And we do what we have to do in that material life, and then we give our respect, and then we go. We go to our home. We have our altar there. We bow down to the Lord. And with our children, the children want to be with their parents, and sometimes we want a break. We want a break, of course. But now to step over that and sing with them, or read something about Krishna with them, then they love it, because what they want is to be with father and mother. That's all what they want. And what we want is like, we are tired already, we have a busy day, but then just that little bit, and we will be so fulfilled in that. Swimming pools open. We are searching in our life. Where is love? Where is truth? Where is happiness? Everybody is more or less on that errand, on that journey. And while being on that search, we are experiencing a lot of suffering. This is due to our ignorance. We don't know who we really are, what wealth we have inside. We cannot feel that. We cannot feel our true nature. Our unhappiness does not come from being poor or uneducated, diseased or old or any sort of thing we identify ourselves with. We have a much deeper source of who we really are, and that is the soul, our only real identity, who we are. The soul is eternal and magical. Everything we are looking for here, love, beauty, charm, knowledge, is contained in the soul, and we are an atomic small particle of the Supreme Soul. Everything we are looking for is inside ourselves, not outside of ourselves. We are capable to be a permanent, blissful, happy person, independent of other people, circumstances, or things to make us happy. Is that not what everybody wants? We are trying to get happiness from other people. Well, that is not guaranteed that they will love us forever. We are going to the mall. We are consuming all sorts of acquiring, all sorts. It never stops. The more we do it, the more we want it, because we have not found the real alternative in our life yet. The magic jewel that is living in our heart, the treasure we are all carrying inside of us. Truth will eternally exist, only our perception of it is covered. Any comments, Nitai?
I just quickly wanted to ask, what was that lecture from? Where was?
This I took from some, and I wrote some. Yeah. But what specifically?
No, I was just wondering where it was from, because I came a bit late. So
Okay.
I didn't know where it came from. Very nice.
Nitai, some comments?
Oh, just, I think I spoke to Pandita about this. I think it was last week I spoke to him. It's just, when you step back and you start to really look at why everyone, why they're doing things, like why are we doing anything, most of the time, it's always, in the material world anyway, is It's always, I'm doing this because I'm getting this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
math-
we want some
like
mathematics. Yeah.
some mathematical equation.
Calculative, huh?
A, B, and C equals this. This and this equals this. What am I getting out of it?
Exactly.
And in the spiritual world, it's quite the opposite.
Yes.
It's all about they're actually competing constantly. They're competing about how much they're able to please the other. They're not thinking, well, what am I getting out of this? And the proof of that is sometimes the devotees of the Lord, they are going through a lot of hardship. Sometimes they're not getting. Sometimes the Lord doesn't appear in front of them. Sometimes they're suffering. Sometimes they're alone, or going through some suffering or whatever. Different kinds of situations.
Yeah.
But their love is sincere because even though they're not getting anything, they still are giving. Because they don't care about their own satisfaction. They only care about the satisfaction of the Lord. And when they're feeling happiness, if it gets in the way of their service, then they damn that happiness. Go away, happiness. You're making me stop my service. They condemn it. No.
Stop, don't take pleasure in
Yeah,
that.
they don't take pleasure when the pleasure comes.
Yeah.
They actually damn it. They go, no, I don't want to do this. And that is the proof that the devotees, the pure devotees, the surrendered souls of the Lord are completely above this material world. But if we can try and tap into that with our actions and just see, just stop for a minute, just why am I getting so angry about that? Oh, because I didn't get that. She didn't react the way I wanted her to. He didn't react the way I wanted him to. He didn't give me what I wanted to. If we just stop and think and just, okay, this is the environment. It's coming to me in this way. That's okay. It's all happening for a reason. The environment's trying to teach me something. That's good. Not all the time thinking bad about others, thinking, why didn't it go my way? Actually, just stop and think and let me just stop all that and see what I can do for that person. I can't change the world, but I can change myself. Stop thinking about what you're getting out of it and try to think a little bit more like, how can I give? How can I give to the whole world? How can I give to my neighbor or my friend or even my enemy? Not because I'm getting something out of it, and not also just, oh, well, I'm going to be a good guy because that's good. Because that's still not enough. That's superficial. Because deep down, you're still trying to be a good guy because you're getting something good out of it.
Feeling good.
Right. So, rather because, we should do that because, we should do all these things because deep down, the master of everyone, and, what it boils down to is our loving master, he is always our dearest friend, and we should recognize that. And everything that's happening to us in our life, it's all for our good. it's really for our good. We may not see that. We may think, oh, I'm late for work, I just got threatened by my boss to get fired. That's not good. I'm making less money this month than last month. That's not good. But there's a reason behind it. We may not realize. Sometimes, a lot of the times, we suffer so much, and then it makes us remember, doesn't it? Like, what do we do when we are suffering? We sometimes, we'll even like forget about our friends. Mom, I'm suffering so much, right? Or Dad, I'm suffering so much. Or we call someone our dearest person, you know. And but even higher than that, oh, Mahaprabhu, please help me, I'm suffering so much. I don't care about this world anymore. You know, because at the end of the day, everything around us is temporary. We're actually wasting our time, completely wasting our time. But I'm not trying to tell anyone to quit their jobs or become a Mayavadi. I'm just saying, please, everyone, try to look within and, you know, be compassionate. Don't be so judgmental. We don't know what the other person's going through, just as they don't know what we're going through. But, you know, try to think of others and, you know. Yeah. Anyway, just going on.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Yeah. Just to basically, you know, and Guru Maharaj said, practice the hand to give. If you don't have anything, okay, give paper, right?
Can I ask you something? How do you feel you can help others in, you know, as part of your practicing life in the world?
I think, you know, today I read something from the Search for the Lost Servant. And it was talking about specifically Grihastha ashram. You know, a lot of people, when they're going through life, going back to separate interests, they do things based on what they're getting out of it. So some people, they think, I don't want to be a sannyasi, so I'll just get married and I'll have it easy. And I want to enjoy a lot, and I'll be a grihastha. But no one really, like most people, they don't really understand what that really means. Being a grihastha, I read today, well, one of the things you should do is every single day, without fail, you should have minimum like 4 guests in your house.
4 guests.
4 guests in your house. You should have some guests in your house. Because no, there should not be anyone outside with a begging bowl and then they have no food in their stomach. And there shouldn't be anyone. You should be calling people. Hello! Is there any hungry people? Please come to my house. There's prasadam here. So that, you know, people could come to your home and you invite them and then they come there and then you speak to them about Krishna and yes, please take prasadam. I just offered this to the Lord. Like that. Not like some kind of like weird thing where you live with society but you're not part of society and they're bad and you're the only righteous person. That's not real. You know? Krishna consciousness is very beautiful because it really is so, it's like an organic thing, you know, like you start to look within and you realize, yes, I am the problem. It's me. It's not everyone. It's me. I'm the one who's ugly. I'm the one who's got these horrible things because that's why I'm perceiving all these things around me in that way.
Desires.
Yeah. And so actually, you know, I was talking about parasites and moaning about parasites, but really, like all this stuff around us, and like our mind and all these things that, you know, like, we're bombarded with suggestions on an everyday basis, like, oh, look at this video, go over here, take a nice holiday, or go to this nice restaurant, or you will need to eat this, or you need to watch this. All these things, they are actually kind of like parasites, because they suck your life, they drain you of energy and everything, right? And deep down you think you're having a good time, but really you're not. You're actually dwindling away. It's taking away your life. And the things that are really good for you, like Bhagavad Gita, or like, you know, coming to the temple and practicing devotional service, in the beginning, you know, you're like, oh, this is really tough, I don't want to do it, my mind is telling me no, I'm not even getting any enjoyment out of it. What am I getting from this? Right? We're not getting much from this. I've already read it, what's the point? I keep coming here, I don't feel anything. Yeah? But the thing is, all these things, they are very conducive. And the reason why they're conducive is because in the beginning, it's bitter, but in the end, it's sweet.
Yeah, slowly.
And it will destroy all the parasites. It's like a medicine. It will slowly, one day we'll wake up. I'm not saying I have it, but one day we'll wake up and we'll be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough of this. This is just a complete waste of time. And actually, you might not even notice any of those things naturally, and you'll just find yourself, you're just more attracted to doing all these spiritual activities more and more, because it feels like you're nourishing your real self, and you're not wasting your time, and you are actually doing something which is meaningful.
I was thinking about these processes that we are trying to adopt, right? They're actually magical, because there's so much invested in all those processes, like Trinada Pisamicena, like japa, meditation, congregational chanting, associating with the devotees, seva, most importantly, trying to offer oneself, right?
Reading the scriptures.
Like all of those things, they're very powerful they're working on us in a way that we have no idea about. It's a very subtle thing, and it's completely beyond our control. The only thing is that we have to just try to do it, because the rest is all up to Gurudev, up to Krishna, and they're taking control of that. That's the whole process of Sharanagati, right? Embracing the Lord's, protection and guardianship, and so I was just thinking how powerful it is beyond us even being aware of it. What you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, and actually, Gurudev is such a, how can I say, it's that all these gurus, they're like specialists, like doctors, and they're all the scriptures, they're like, different ointments and treatments for us to look at, relish, and apply that in our life. This isn't like some kind of thing like where someone's beating you in the back with some cane or a whip, like, come on, read more. It's, in the beginning it may seem like that, but deep down, I think when you really are sincere about this whole process, and you look at the world, and you look outside, and you look even within yourself, and you think, hang on a minute, something's not adding up. Because I'm being told by everyone and everything around me, this and this will make me happy. Really, am I? You're like, no, I'm not. So why am I wasting my time, investing my whole time and energy in meaningless things that ultimately make me more depressed? Why don't I just try and focus on something which will uplift myself and everyone around us. And but the thing is, it's an illness. It's an illness. It's the false ego, because like if you're in a prison, if you watch people in prison, the way they behave themselves, they're like, "You're here for life," and they're like, "Okay," and they make themselves, comfortable at home. And they're like, "Okay, well, I'll start painting over here, or I'll put my little poster. I might even do some sneaky things for someone. I might get some cigarettes," and they just make themselves at home. So we're not better, actually. We're in the same kind of condition, because we're here in the material world, in the conditioned life, where we have a lot of conditions: birth, death, old age, sickness and disease. And we're still thinking that this is going to be forever. Some guy falls down, dies in front of you, you're like, sucks to be you. But we don't think this is going to happen to me one day. So we should act quickly and be practical, and use our actual intelligence and just surrender. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be like a mental thing. Like, really, sincerely, if we surrender and try to apply these things every day, however small it is, I think our life will be a bit more meaningful. Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna. It's time now.
Yes.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Jai Sachi Devī
Ki
Dāsī.
Jai.
Jai Chantu Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai Gaura Premanande.
Ki Jai.
Giridhārījīu school. It's got to close now. Bhaja Sri